To create your own org chart, you have two options. Option 1 is to use the org chart shape from the library. Navigate to the plus shape library button. When the window pops up, select Org Charts under the Standard Libraries tab. Make sure the org chart's shape is checked. Then click Use Selected Shapes. When the window disappears, you'll see that the org chart shape is now in your toolbar. You may have to scroll to see it. From here, just click on the org chart shape and drag it right onto your canvas. After you drop it onto the canvas, you'll automatically enter edit mode for this org chart. You can start editing names and roles, adding new shapes to your chart, moving shapes, or deleting shapes you don't need. If you'd like to move your org chart or work on something else in your document, just double-click outside of the org chart to exit edit mode. Now you can drag and move your org chart as a whole or start building with other shapes. But maybe you have a larger number of employees and you want to save time. Rather than building your chart manually, option 2 is to automate the creation of your org chart by importing data. Let's talk through how to organize your data so that Lucidchart will upload it properly. Number 1, we're going to need employee name. Number 2, we highly recommend having some sort of column for employee ID. It doesn't need to be their actual employee ID number, but what this does is it creates a unique value for each employee. Just in case you have 2 employees with the same name, the unique identifier prevents Lucidchart from getting confused. And it helps with number 3. Number 3 is include a column for Supervisor ID, which is just the employee ID number of an individual supervisor. For example, Erica Romagera's employee ID number is 2. She oversees these 4 people, so her employee ID number is included here in the column for their supervisor ID. You'll also want to include a column for title or role, and then the rest of the information is just a bonus. Whatever information could potentially be relevant, you'll want to include it in the spreadsheet if you want to visualize it in your org chart. Alright, once you've got your spreadsheet set up, you'll want to go to your Lucidchart toolbar. You can either select Import Data from the org chart shape, or the Import Data button at the bottom here. Select Org Chart and you'll see the kind of file types you can use. Find your file and select. Then you'll see the pop-up. How does your table identify a supervisor? We did by ID number. Choose the correct columns that contain employee and supervisor ID. Perfect. Our columns were already titled that way, so nice and easy. Then match your columns to the fields: name, role, which can also mean title, and image URL. You don't have to use image URL, but we have a column for that, so we'll leave it there. Next, we're going to create an org chart for our entire organization. We could separate by department or some of these other options, but we will select entire organization. Click Finish, and there we have it. Our whole org chart produced automatically, laid out nicely. Now we can make edits and adjustments. Remember to use the skills you learned in previous activities to customize and optimize your org chart. Use colors, lines, spacing, move employees around, edit the display fields, make the org chart your own. When you're finished, don't forget to add a title. Just go to Insert, Document Name, and the name that is listed in the top left of your screen will appear on the canvas. For even better documentation, go to Insert and select Last Modified Date and Time, and Last Modified By. Now you'll be able to make changes as needed and make sure your org chart is always up to date. Lucidchart can help you quickly and clearly communicate current company structure, say that 5 times fast, visualize upcoming changes in your organization, arrange project teams with balanced skill sets, identify opportunities for new hires, and more. See what you can do. And if you're interested in more resources that dive deeper into org charts, stop by our Lucid Labs homepage for more learning.